So here we are making the DIY Under Quilt. What you're looking at here is a nice big sheet of ripstop nylon fabric that we purchased on a really good price. So what we've done here is we've sewn baffles into the fabric itself, both sides here, and created our own little channels where we're going to stuff this with down-filling ourselves and hopefully make it weigh out nice and proper. We folded a piece of webbing over here, sewn it separately, and then taking all of that and sewn it onto the edge of the quilt like piping. We'll be able to hold quite a lot of weight with just this. What we're going to do now is make sure that it works. We're going to triple stitch this right into the fabric. So now that we've got one piece sewn on here, basically we're just going to take this and we're going to add a couple more layers of stitching. It doesn't have to be any kind of nice and neat. It's just going to provide a little bit more support for that webbing with the shock cord in it. I'm going to very quickly pass this underneath the sewing machine a couple of times. Just going to try to add a little bit of strength on there. We have the webbing here that we're using to fold in half and put the shock cord in. You have a little bit extra hanging over the edge. You can always trim it off later. And all we're going to do is take this piece of webbing, we're going to roll it out. We'll just leave that a little bit long. Very lightly apply a bit of flame just to the end of that, enough to make it a little bit melted. Touch it very lightly with your fingers just to seal the end up, and that is not going to fray for many a year. So the next step here is to try to create a channel for which you can run your shock cord. We're using 1/4 inch shock cord in 2-inch webbing, and what we've basically got to do is take it, fold it in half. You'll see sometimes people may iron their webbing. I'm not going to iron it. I'm a little nervous about what kind of heat it can withstand. It did melt very easily when we were trimming up the ends here. So if I apply a hot iron to that, we may not get a good result. It may make the nylon inflexible. So basically all we're going to do is we're going to take our 2-inch webbing, we're going to fold it right down in half, get it nice and smooth, and then we're going to take this and we're going to pin it together just to make a nice channel for our shock cord. So as you can see, we have enlisted the help of a second pair of hands here. This is my mom, Chris, helping me out. So we're going to pin it with the shock cord inside the webbing already, so that we're looking to have is the ends here line up just like a sandwich, so that when we sew it, we have enough tail, if you will, left over to sew to the under quilt and have a nice secure piece of webbing. I'm just walking the foot right along the edge of the shock cord, and I'm actually going to use the pressure of the shock cord to try to hold the foot in place as I sew along this line. So as we near the end of this, we're going to come into a real problem. And that's going to be that the webbing, the shock cord, and the material all double up upon itself. And as you can see, we've got a loose end here. Now what we're going to find have happen is most of the weight from the under quilt, from the hammock, from the shock cord is going to be right on this corner. And as you can see, because of the thickness, it's very hard to get into. So that's going to be one of the problems we'll have to troubleshoot here. As you can see, some of those stitches are even coming out just by themselves already without any weight being applied to it. So we're going to have to be very careful with the way we handle this. We may end up putting some sort of rivet in here, we may end up hand stitching it, we may end up gluing it together. I have no idea where to go quite with this yet, but we'll see what happens.